Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are meeting in the next episode of NISARG, Network of Indian Scientists and Researchers in Germany. We are very happy to welcome you, and also I'm sure, like the earlier episodes, this will be also something very productive in terms of a new research area that is known to other researchers also who are in Germany but also internationally. And we are introducing in every episode a new researchers who are from diverse fields who are working in Germany in different scientific institutions and universities and research labs. The whole objective is to make sure other researchers who are interested in those fields are getting in together and get connected, linked, but also for the diaspora to get to know that one among them is working successfully in one or other fields and have achieved and working towards certain research area that brings India and Germany together, of course also internationally connected. So that's the basic objective of NISARG. So today we have a researcher from a very famous institution worldwide and also in Germany, Alfred-Wegener-Institute, that specialized in climate research and working in different fields of oceanic research as well. And they are very famous for also their investigation vessel called Polar Stand, which is also recently in the news, who have been to Antarctica and doing a lot of research. So we are very happy to welcome Arpita Bose today to our program. Welcome, Arpita, to be part of this program today. And to start with, could you just give a brief about yourself? Where do you come from India, and about your early education and also school and college age, and how this interest and this field of research, is it coming from very early times? Do you have some inspiration or people, teachers who are really motivated in this field? You got motivated, please.
Yeah, so good morning everyone. I'm Arpita Bose. I'm from India. I was born and brought up in Kolkata. I did my schooling there. Later on, I did my college. I did my engineering from West Bengal University of Technology under the Techno India group of institutions. And then I always had that dream of pursuing my master's abroad, since my brother did the same and I wanted to follow his path. But not immediately after passing my bachelor's, but I wanted to do a job. So I started working in a private sector company, and it did not work out well. It was not that fancied what I expected it to be. So I started making plans and programs of coming abroad. But before that, I always wanted to learn the language. So I spent one whole year at the Goethe Institute in Kolkata. I learned the language, prepared myself well to cope up with everything here. And then I started applying. And I always had this desire to study about the climate change, and also I did a lot of research from the DART website, and I found a suitable course, environmental physics, in University of Bremen. And so I applied. I came in 2018 here in Bremen, and now I'm doing. I'm almost done with my masters. I'm doing my thesis with the Alfred-Wegener-Institute. I'm also working as a part-time research assistant in the one that you said, the sea ice data from the Polar Stand, so in the sea ice portal. And so I'm working. I'm basically doing climate modeling with the Alfred-Wegener-Institute. And side by side, I'm also working on the sea ice data from Polar Stand. That's all about me.
Thanks a lot, Arpita. That's very well summarized. If I can ask, so during your early education in Kolkata, during your school time, how was it? Was science your favorite subject, or within science, let's say biology, chemistry, physics, or other things, or it just was different at that point of time, and during your school then it got changed back and forth, many subjects, and how was it?
From no, I always wanted to pursue my career with the science, and yeah, of course, physics was interesting since I chose to study environmental physics here, and but I did not like biology that much, so I didn't opt for the medical exams. I concentrated on my engineering. Yeah, initially I thought that I would pursue my career with engineering, but things are very difficult in India. So the system of studying, like when I came here, I realized that how different is it. The way of studying and everything is quite different from that in India now. And yeah, so but I always wanted to do something in engineering or natural science related things. So I did my engineering from there, and yeah, so it did not work out well when I started working in a company there. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should pursue my education with the masters. So I continued with my masters there.
I mean, physics, probably it's not so surprising coming from Kolkata, because
Yeah.
I think, of course, a lot of world famous institutes are in Kolkata. For example, Bose Institute is there, and there are many other. I'm just saying one, but physics is something has a lot of roots in Kolkata as well. Um, did that somehow influence you during your school times? Have you visited some of these very famous institutions during your school, or that something always has been, broadcasted to you even during school time about physics?
Not really means like not any typical institute that deals only with physics, but I remember I visited the Birla Museum, and where the shows that they display, about the astronomical shows, the what's happening in the space in universe in the Birla Planetarium. So that also is a kind of physics. It deals with space studies and how it's working. And so yeah, I remember during my childhood, I sometimes I visited there during the weekends.
Okay. So you said also, yeah, you followed your footsteps of your brother, or you wanted to. And how is it home? And from your parents or from your family background, also, there are people in the field of science, I know. So that's also somehow that came within you when you spoke to your uncle or, parents or others, or how was it? Was there any influence around as well? Because many times people get influence either at the school or even from the family in which profession they are moving, or friends. These are three majorly quite influencing the decision of someone what they are looking at actually. Is it something for you also? Something came up from somewhere?
Yeah, definitely. So my brother was my major inspiration. I have always seen him doing his research, and so that motivated me. Okay, so I will be also following his footsteps, and I will also come here abroad. And since I belong from a joint family, I have many cousins, and they all are settled abroad. So they all are pursuing in the field of research. So these things motivated me a lot. So yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, so coming abroad is basically not just going abroad, but mainly to do quality research, or let's put it, say, something very advanced research, because they all were there. So I think that was in your mind from the beginning. Let me specialize on that front.
Yeah, and yeah, since my brother was there, he kind of awared me that okay, about the constraints of living here, like the language, you have to get accustomed to the culture, so you have to be prepared. Okay, so yes, I'm going here, so I will not be able to see my family. I will not be able to see many people all around me. So these things you have to be well prepared before. So in that case, my brother helped me a lot, and he kind of insisted me that okay, no, I should learn the language so that I could at least communicate with here. And yeah, so when I came here, it was winter. In winter, and in winter you cannot see many people around you when the sun always sets down very earlier, and it's very dark. It's dark and it's raining all the time, so it's kind of depressing. But later, when I saw my friends in the university, summer came, things were much easier. And yeah, so I was just accustomed with everything. Initially took time, but later on it was fine. Everything was fine.
I think I please give our you know best greetings to your brother, because I think this is what we are all are trying to do practically to help Indian students to get them prepared for their journey here in Germany. Especially when you said about language and everything, I think he has set a really very good precedent in helping you and making sure the steps that you are taking rightly in terms of how it would
Yeah,
be, especially in terms of coming into winter and all those things, and especially language.
yeah,
So we are very thankful for that. I'm pretty sure your brother, not only you, and he's also probably helping other students too.
yeah. I think language is very important thing. If you cannot communicate with them and you don't know anything what's going around, you feel very lonely here because it's very different. In India we have so many shops. The streets are congested with so many people, and initially when you come thousands of miles away from your parents and you don't see anyone, you think that okay, I'm landing up somewhere that's very weird, and this kind of initiates a depression into students, what I think. But slowly, if people can adjust, then things better out soon, very soon. And
Nice.
for me it was the same. And but thanks to the Bremen Indian community, there is a huge Indian community here. And now during Corona everything has changed, but previously the functions like Diwali, Navratri, so I made sure that I participated in each and every function. And yeah, so in that way you can find a bit of your hometown here, and thousands of miles away, and it's fine.
Absolutely, I think especially when speaking about Bremen, I mean the Durga Puja in Bremen is very famous. They do it
Yeah,
very beautifully, and also Bremen Indian community. You said obviously, I'm pretty sure you are you were involved or you are quite close to also Indian Student Association at the Bremen University as well. It's also quite doing excellent work in supporting students, but also other associations and happening. So very nice to be that. As coming from the joint family, you said probably it's not even easier to get more lonely. I mean, being from a singular family itself within India and coming, it's one thing, but also having a joint family and then coming here and staying alone is also not easy. But great that you have accustomed very nicely into the situation, and also very glad to know that you also take efforts to support new students or those who are in need, exactly like you who are coming new and everything. I think that's something it's really what we all need to do, and it's wonderful. Coming to your masters, how was the
yeah.
process? Of course, your brother probably supported you, but everything. How did you get to know about this BAAD first, and what was the whole, the procedures and everything? How was it for you to really get into the whole application process and to reach here?
Regarding the application process, the first thing that my brother instructed me was to follow the DARD website. It's very structured and you can really filter your searches. So I think it's the best way to start the application procedure. So I did the same. I started searching for universities there, and according to the semester which I want to come into, and then the field of study, I searched accordingly and I found there. But after applying to the universities through DARD, there were some universities which accepted hard copies of your sub application documents. So I had to send it to the universities via post, and there were universities where just online application would suffice. And the same happened here in Bremen. So I did an online application here in Bremen, and yeah, it was very smooth. It was, so you make an account, you upload all your documents here, and at the end they confirm you with a confirmation letter. And any doubts we have, means we have like a person coming from abroad, like we have many doubts that okay, what kind of documents we need, what is this, what is that, and the course coordinators are always there to help us. So we got email replies, and yeah, in that way it was very easy regarding the application. It was not that difficult.
Um, in your let's say perspective, or how do you observe, what was the very important criteria that you think you have got this admission because of 1, 2, 3? What was that they are looking for and that matched from your qualifications?
The basic thing is that you have a like good to average to good CGPA from your bachelor's degree. Next, good English proficiency, and a nice letter of recommendation is good, So when you have a nice letter of recommendation, that already makes you ahead of the application. So it helps in processing. So if a person sees your letter of recommendation, and they can have an idea that okay, this person is fit for this course at least.
So, I mean, in terms of recommendation, did you do already some scientific project or research project at your university back home, or this recommendation based on some practical things that you did there, or did you have an interview, Skype interview, or something before the application process?
So the letter of recommendation that I received was from my college. They issued me the letter of recommendation based on the work that I did in my college. I did a specialization course from IIT Dhanbad in my field, and then I did fairly very well in my final year examination. So I received 2 letter of recommendations from my HOD, the head of the department, and my principal of the college. So I think that helped. My application was, I think it was good. So these kind of projects that you do for the certificates, I had a couple of certificates. I did a lot of trainings, the vocational trainings that was offered by the institutes. So all this accounted me to get a good letter of recommendation from the college.
The language course or the basic course German, which you did while you were in India before you coming here, did that? Do you think it would have helped also adding a little bit of marks into your selection criteria?
Yeah, definitely. So I did my A1, A2 from the Goethe Institute, and later on coming here, I completed my B1, and yeah, that helped a lot. That actually helped a lot. So I have sent all my certificates, and when you have a certificate from Goethe Institute, that's really a plus point. So yeah, I think that was a good criteria for my application process.
Great. Yeah, then you arrived, you started environmental physics. How was it? The education in itself, masters. I mean, not looking into, it's not about criticizing, how this good or that good, but what was different, let's put it this way, from the Indian, master education you could have done there or here? What was something different in terms of that attracted you, or that immediately you felt that, okay, this is different?
Initially, the basic difference that I spotted out was in India, everything was very regular. So you read the same thing year after year, and you repeat the same thing. And here it is it's very new. We get to implement certain things, and it's not the repetition what you did before. So every day the professors, when they explain stuffs, And it's not that okay, it's all about learning how the mechanism behind it. It's not that you mark up something and you go and write it down. But this is the basic thing that I found. It is a huge, this was a major difference between Indian system of education and here. So here it's very, it's, you have to really get into the idea of how things are happening. And yeah, so this is the basic difference what I found it out. And in my course in environmental physics, they told us that you have to do a lot of assignments, and they were assigning us a lot of homeworks, kind of exercises, and we had to do every day certain homeworks. And and in that way we got to know the subjects very well. And another difference that I found was that in India, what we had is it's always, you get an idea from an exam, and we know that okay, this is fine and we have to study. But here you don't know anything, so it's always studying new things and implementing the same into your knowledge. So this was very different.
Nice. So, how did you get to this RV? I mean, how did this project came into, or you got in touch, or your professor helped, or in general, did you know RV before, or you wanted to do it there when you came to environmental physics division and you heard about it, and how it all happened?
So when our course started, they told us that it's basically a joint collaboration course with the University of Bremen, the IUP, the Institute of Environmental Physics, and from the Alfred-Wegener-Institute. So many of our professors belong to Alfred-Wegener-Institute. And after, I think I was in my third sem, and I was doing my elective subjects there. And I was waiting for the right opportunity to find a proper topic for my thesis. And since I was very interested in the climate system, that how the climate is working, the mechanism, what is happening. Yeah, we all know that climate is changing, but why is the climate changing? So I was very interested in this. And the main expedition that's organized by AVI, the Polashtan expedition, the Mosaic expedition. So the sea ice is melting in the Arctic. So yeah, and so I wrote an email to one of my professors belonging to AVI, and yeah, he accepted me, and then I started working at AVI. It's been almost a year, and side by side, I'm actually working with 3 departments at AVI. So I'm working for the sea ice project is with 2 departments, and my master thesis is with another department. So I'm very much acquainted with the systems at AVI.
So, how was it in research in AVI itself? I mean, can you just go through us how AVI looks like? Because many of us know about it's the world-renowned institute, and it's a lot of research is happening in this front and everything. How is it being in such a great institute, and what's something that that's something you are learning for your future as well, in which direction you would like to go, and how the whole scientific system there is supporting such young researchers?
Well, in one word, I can say that AVI is a institute where you can learn about it deals with the research in the polar regions. So the main concern is the sea ice in the Arctic is melting, and the polar amplification. Why is it that? And it's a great place to learn, and it's a great place to learn and for the research and studies and scientific studies. And it's very research oriented institute. And there are a number of departments at AVI. So there are climate departments, there is oceanography department, and there is biogeochemistry department, there is atmospheric physics department. So you can choose any one of the branches that you want to have a specialization in. So my interest was in climate system, and I chose to study the paleoclimate dynamics. So the paleoclimate dynamics deals with the climate system in the mid-Pliocene era. So it like in the pre-industrial periods, 1850 and there. So I am studying how the climate changed from past to future. So yeah, this is what I'm working on currently.
Um, how did you do you know Victor before? And you know Victor is a very important name also in the AVI. I'm pretty sure you have heard about it, and for us also it's a great pride to as somebody having Indian roots and such a fine gentleman. How did you come across with Professor Victor?
I have, to be very honest, I did not interacted with him personally. I only know that he is a great personality from RV, and he is mostly acquainted, associated with the biogeochemistry carbon cycle group, because I have one of my friend in doing his master thesis research in carbon cycle, and yeah, I know that he is also doing modeling. So in my line, I am also doing modeling. So yeah, this is how I just know him, but I not have the opportunity to talk to him personally.
You should do that. You should do that, and you can learn really great amount of things, not in terms of research, but philosophy of research, and how he looks at things. And we also have a NISARG episode, actually Wednesday dialogue series with him. Actually, you can also look at that interview. It's also in the Consulate General website. And he also won the very prestigious Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, which is given to person of Indian origin outside India. So he's really somebody who is very highly respected. And I have been to his home and many often, and to speak with him, as I said, it's a lot of things he has gone through in his life, in philosophy of it, and then also his articles in recently also in Nature and all, which always deals with not purely only in terms of research, but also looking at the whole picture of it. I think it's a very interesting personality. I can just only
Yeah,
recommend you to interact with him and get in touch with him. It will be really a pleasure.
yeah. I actually had the communication with him through email, and he invited me to his home once the corona crisis gets over. You know that with this corona, everything is not
Yeah.
into place. So it's becoming very difficult. Like 1 year, we are striking through this thing to get over, and this is just not happening. So it's indeed very difficult times for all of us. So I sincerely hope that this gets better out soon, and we meet in person.
That will be a great thing. And so, what is your future roadmap looks like when you are planning to finish your thesis and submission? Already, are you planning to stay back at RV for your PhD and further down research road? Have you an offer already on the plate, or how is it looks like?
I have already started my master thesis, so I'm working on master thesis. I submitted my thesis paper here at AVI, and yeah, definitely I want to pursue my research in AVI. This is an esteemed organization, and I think I really dream about joining AVI, and maybe someday about the Polashtan expedition also. So yeah, I have a plan to pursue with my PhD at AVI, but let's see how things goes. I have to do my thesis first, and then maybe I start applying at AVI. And yeah, if I get a good opportunity, I do have plans to stay back here.
So AVI has so-called structured PhD program, or how it works? Like if the professor says I'm interested and they have funds, then you can join, or there is some, let's say, a graduate academy kind of, you have a program exclusively for PhD.
No, so what I know is when AVI has funds for a certain PhD program, they publish that in their website. And if you apply through that website and you have a proper master's degree in that disciple, I think then you are fit after the interview, of course.
I think you have anyway comparative advantage over the external applications, being done masters in a program that's collaboration with AVI, and also doing your thesis in AVI, knowing the institution and professor. So I think that's a lot of things that you have certainly deserved to put in your CV. Um, so we would be very
Yeah.
happy actually. A very motivated and highly potential young scientists like you continue to stay back in Germany in such institutions, and probably also build bridges between India and Germany. Of course, today's science is basically, it's not only about two countries, it's about the world. It's very connected. AVI even cannot, any institutions, even like AVI or institutes or anyone, they cannot do their research on their own. I'm pretty sure it has to be a collaborative effort all over the world, because the data comes from all different
Yeah.
places. So that's, the science is no more like in one individual lab in somewhere corner of the world can be done.
Yes, and moreover, that was I actually wanted to work at AVI, and the reason that I chose my master thesis at AVI, and I want to contribute here my research skills, the learning skills that I've gained, my experience that I've gained all throughout the year, all throughout my master studies. So I really hope that things get better and I get an opportunity to work here at AVI. I continue my research at AVI here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's something we all look forward to, certainly. And yeah, wonderful, Arpita. I mean, thanks a lot for that, short dialogue. I think my hope is, sincere hope is that this will inspire quite a lot of young people who are aspiring to do research in your field, in climate modeling or climate data, but also they see an opportunity when a structured preparation process is being done, when they want to study abroad, they want to apply for it, and especially language, motivated to learn the language before they travel to different countries, also to uh, Germany, and also very finely said, the Indian community, whether it's in Bremen or in other places, they are there to support, and let's say home
Yeah,
away from home, they are giving that opportunity and to be
yeah,
part of it. I think those are very important takeaways, I think, from this dialogue, I would say.
yeah, definitely. And yeah, so as you said, home away from home, it's very important when you are away from the home and you get to follow everything that you did back in India. So start the Navratri, doing Dandiya, and celebrating Diwali with the diyas, offering Anjali. I am a Bengali, so Durga Puja is very precious for me. And this was the third year that I participated in Durga Puja. So these things really counts in, and you never feel alone with all such lovely people around.
Great. With that, those words, thank you very much for the time, and we will get back to you with the after the cleaning of the video. Let's say in terms of few small internet stoppages, so that it make it clear, and then having your name and everything, I will share it with you, and we will also post it at the Consulate General of India, so you can share it further down to your friends and your college back home in India and other places, so that other young people can get motivated, and maybe whoever want to come, maybe they would like to get some help or hand holding that you can offer to those young students who really want to aspire to study abroad, and it also especially in terms of your research. And yeah, with those
Yeah,
words, yeah, please go ahead, Arpita.
no, I would also like to thank you for inviting me, and it was very nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for viewing this video. We are, saying this in advance. It will be posted very soon, and we will meet you in the next episode of NISARG with another interesting personality, research scientist, who working in a research institution and a university in Germany. Thank you very much, and thank you, Arpita. All the best. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah.